Hello guys, welcome back to Sweet and Sour Soccer. This is actually the first content video that we are doing that isn't Wolves related for a while. I've been travelling, I'm back home now. Guys, what we want to say is recently, over the last week, we've noticed that just over 70%, quite a lot of people that are watching our videos aren't subscribed. I think I've mentioned this before. We are happy about that because it means that we're not just focusing on friends and family. We are reaching, bigger and wider audiences now. Guys, what I would really, really love is if you could just hit that subscribe button if you're new to this channel. Give us a week, give us 2 weeks, watch some of our videos. We do cover all different types of, football in general. We don't just do Wolves videos being Wolves fans. As you can see from this video, we cover everything. If after a couple of weeks you feel like this content's not really for you, of course, you can always subscribe, but do give us a chance. Scott, today's video, we're going to be talking about, I say it's not Wolves linked. It is a little bit.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
For people that don't know, you're probably going to be a bit happier about the links in today's video. But we're going to talk about potential candidates for the new Spurs job that's come vacant.
Yeah, definitely. It's a weird one, wasn't it? The sacking, I think, with Mourinho. I think I was I wasn't surprised at the fact he got sacked, but I was surprised at the timing of it right before the cup final.
Did you watch?
I think a lot of Spurs fans didn't like his style of play. Again, he's not brilliant at times with how he speaks about players and stuff. But obviously, we don't want to make this a Mourinho video. So, James, you want to dive straight into the first one? What we're going to do, guys, is we're literally going to kind of just go down the odds. We're going to talk about who's the favourite and just go from there. Quick 2 minutes on each. Whether they be a good candidate, other factors. And yeah, just a quick summary on each. So I'll let you start, James.
Yeah, Maurizio Sarri's favourite at the moment. And he's actually 5-2 now. He was, I think, as high as 6-1 yesterday, where a couple of managers sitting now were more favoured yesterday. Don't know about Sarri. They're complaining about Mourinho's football, and I guess rightly so, but is Sarri any different? And he's not won anywhere near as much as Jose in his career. Seems a bit of an odd one to me.
I don't think it would be a bad appointment. If I'm being completely honest, I think he was a bit underappreciated by the Chelsea fans. And you are right. He hasn't won an awful lot of trophies, has he? He started to win a few more in the later stage of his career now. Obviously started really low down, didn't he? I think as low as maybe the 8th league in Italian football and just kept working his way up. It's one of them, I agree. I think Spurs fans like the really attacking, flowing football. That is the Spurs way, as they would put it. I don't think they would get that with Sarri, but I don't think at the same time, I don't think it would be a bad appointment, and I can see why he probably is the favourite at the moment.
Yeah, I can see why. You wonder with those Chelsea connections whether they would want him to come. That's another question. Someone who shot up this list again yesterday wasn't anywhere near as favoured. Brendan Rodgers, he was, 5th or 6th favourite yesterday. He's come on leaps and bounds today. I don't see why he'd leave Leicester. I know they've got the new £1 billion stadium and all this potential money in the background that they can, invest into the squad. But I don't think people give Leicester as much respect as they deserve.
They don't, no, definitely not.
They don't. Leicester are a better team than Spurs. And if Leicester had a 50,000-60,000 seater stadium, let's get this right. Are Leicester a bigger club than Spurs? I think they are. Let's not get this twisted. They've won the Premier League 5 years ago. They're in the FA Cup final.
I completely agree with this one. I don't think this is an argument or a discussion of whether Spurs fans would want him. I think the majority of Premier League teams would bite the hand off for Brendan Rodgers at the moment. Very underrated manager. I just don't see him moving from Leicester. I have to completely agree with you. I think Leicester are a better run club. I think if you consider the players as assets, they've got much more in assets in terms of the players they've got. I think they've got a better squad. I think Brendan's been supported well by Leicester as well. I think he's been allowed to bring in the candidates he wants, and everything's going really well for him, isn't it, at the moment? And you look at it, Tottenham probably aren't going to get into Europe this next season, or if they do, it'd be Europa. Leicester are still, heading towards the Champions League. So I don't know, maybe money talks, but I don't see it myself. I really don't see this one happening.
No, I mean, people did criticise him for leaving Celtic to go to Leicester, saying that it wasn't a step up, which is a nonsense argument. Of course it was. No disrespect to Celtic. They're a big, big club, but a top team in the Premier League is always going to be bigger. No, I really don't see the Brendan Rodgers one. It would be odd. The next one is, it's actually... he's actually apparently behind Nuno, but we'll jump on him anyway. Nagelsmann. Now, you told me before we started recording this, which I didn't know, because Munich have said that they've effectively agreed personal terms with Nagelsmann, but there's a problem, obviously, with Leipzig saying that they want a big fee for him.
That's it, yeah. Apparently they're going to command the record fee for a transfer of a manager. They're wanting as much as 25 million euros, so it's been reported. One of them, isn't it? I'm sure the likes of Leipzig and Dortmund are getting sick of Bayern just stealing the players. And, this time round it's going to be a manager they're looking to steal. I think they're going to go, well, you're not having him. Look, if there is a fee involved, I don't really see Spurs paying that fee. I don't know if that's a fee that's just been set for Bayern because they're so sick of them. But
maybe.
Would he be a good appointment? I think he would. Can I see it happening? Not really. I think he's destined for Bayern. Really, I think he would prefer to go to Bayern. I think he's actually a Bayern Munich fan, and to be honest, it's one of them as a Spurs fan. Would you want him if you know that you're kind of the second choice? I'm not really sure.
I don't see why he'd go to Spurs. I really don't. You might be right with that Bayern Munich thing. It might be a case of they've said, right, enough's enough. You've taken all the players, and maybe they probably will still have a fee for any club that wants Nagelsmann outside of Germany. But maybe it would be 25 million. It'd be a great appointment for Spurs. Obviously, we all know how good a job he's done over there in Germany. I think if Munich are serious about getting him, there's only one place for him. You're not turning Munich down for Spurs, are you? Let's be honest.
No, of course not. Yeah.
Next one on the list, Nuno. For people that have maybe just watched this for the first time, we are Wolves fans. We cover every match reaction for Wolves games and only Wolves games. But that's really the only content we do, odd videos here and there. But our manager has been linked. People say that he's just a younger Jose with a beard,
Well, he based himself on Mourinho. Let's not forget. He actually bases himself off Mourinho's philosophy. He's a massive fan of him. Would I personally like Spurs to take him, especially if we can command a transfer fee? Yes, but I'm going to put my objectivity, whatever it's called, to the side here.
Bias.
Yeah, I should have gone for that, shouldn't I, rather than being really clever with my word selection, because I've completely messed that up there, guys. God's sake. But yeah, anyway, putting that aside, I don't think Spurs would like him at all. He's a massively defensive manager. The only advantage that you might get is you might get the best out of Matt Doherty. But apart from that, I'm not really sure if that's a reason to actually bring him into the club. I don't think Spurs would like his way of playing. I really don't. And I don't think his way of playing would really suit the Spurs players either.
I don't know. When we've had a full strength squad over the last 2 or 3 years, we've played some good football. I don't know. Would he? Maybe if he can get Doc getting 5 or 6 goals and 5 or 6 assists a season, then can he? How he does like to play that 5-2-3, and if he's got a front three of Kane, Son, and Bale, or I'm trying to think. Bergwijn's one, maybe Lamella. I don't know, maybe he'll leave, but I just think maybe he could get them firing. He does set up a good defensive team. I think in the last before this season, the first 2 seasons we went up, we had the top 7 defensive record. So, we kept clean sheets a lot.
Look, one thing I will say about Nuno, and that's not just with his Wolves career, this is with his other careers. He does actually take after Mourinho in a bit, but like for the first 2 seasons, he'll do fantastic. If you look at his managerial career, he'll then slip a little afterwards. So, maybe you're right. Maybe a fresh challenge for him. He could do really well for a couple of seasons, and who knows, maybe Spurs fans would be happy. Spurs fans, if you are watching this, let us know what your thoughts would be of Nuno. But look, let's move on. Next one, we've got a couple of English managers coming up now, haven't we? The first one being Graham Potter.
Yeah,
what do you like of that one? He's coming in at the source we're using. Both him and the next one are both 10-1. Yeah,
I mean, we're starting to get to the managers now, aren't we? Where I think it's just there for these betting companies to make a few quid.
Yeah.
I can't see Graham Potter getting the job. I mean, both him and Scott Parker, who is the next guy, are both 10-1. I see Scott Parker getting it more than Potter, in my opinion.
I agree with you. I think Parker's probably more the kind of football Spurs fans would love to see, and I think it's more the philosophy of, he is quite attacking for the Fulham side he's got anyway. I think Parker probably would be a better choice. I think with the right players, he could play some very good football. You'd be taking a bit of a chance on him, and the same can be said for Potter. I think that's why both of them are 10-1, isn't it? So a bit of an interesting one. Maybe one of them could shoot up the odds. But if I had to pick one, I'd probably pick Parker over Potter.
I agree. I agree with that. Do you think it's a little bit disrespectful to Spurs to say that, you're going to get players like Graham Potter and, I see Eddie Howe's on this list. I mean, we're not going to talk about Eddie Howe because he's well down the list. But do you think it's a little bit disrespectful to say that, you've got to start looking at managers like Graham Potter? I like Potter, no disrespect to him, but,
they've got to be given a chance at some stage. It's an interesting one. I don't think it's disrespectful, but it's just taking a chance, isn't it? I mean,
can they afford to take that chance? But can they afford to take that chance? Look at the stadium.
I don't think they can, especially if they want to keep hold of Kane. That's going to be another debate and another video that we are going to do eventually, looking at Kane and what we think is going to happen or where he might go. But yeah, if they manage to keep hold of Kane, I think he's now more than ever going to want probably a manager he can trust. He's not going to want a chancer. But yeah, so it's an interesting one to monitor. Just quickly on to the next one. It was one that I wanted to bring up, wasn't it, this one? Bielsa, in at 33-1. I was just interested on this one, why he's that far out for someone that's really highly regarded. Leeds have done well. Let's not he's done really well with Leeds this season. He has actually turned it around. I was quite critical of him, I'll be honest. I think he has really turned it around. I think he's adapted well to the Premier League as well. He's transformed players that were Championship players into better players. So he's got that kind of, he's got that about him as well. Couple of Leeds fans are saying that it's that he wouldn't get on with Daniel Levy. I'm really not sure on this one why he's not more of an attractive candidate. What's your thoughts? Do you reckon it's just more that him and Leeds are just a kind of match made in heaven kind of thing, that they really suit each other?
It could be that Leeds are a very free-spirited kind of club, aren't they? And you'd think Bielsa's, very much the same, thinks outside the box. He'll happily stalk your training ground to get the ups on you. He'll sit on an upside-down bucket, and fair play to him. I don't see him and Levy working together at all. It just seems odd to me. Spurs, to me, seem like a very robotic club. I don't know. There's something about Spurs that they just seem very... not oiled. Oil's the wrong word. Like a cog system where every piece has to kind of be in the right place, whereas Bielsa's not that. I don't think Bielsa's going to be going there knowing that he's probably going to lose Kane, and he could take some players from Leeds, and if he does, people like maybe a Bamford, a Dallas,
Rafinha would be the main one.
Yeah, I was just going to say he could easily turn Spurs back into a top 4 team and a comfortable one. I'm surprised Bielsa's not further up the list, but I don't see it.
Yeah, I think I agree. I don't see it. I'm just really interested why he's not talked about a little more. Especially for a bit, the bigger club. I mean, you could debate, couldn't you, which is actually the bigger club with those kind of fan bases. But look, let's just lastly, just a quick one to finish off then on this one. Ryan Mason.
He's actually in the middle of these. Sorry?
So I was just going to ask you, do you reckon it's a bit too early for him, or if he does well, would you give him the chance?
How old is he? He's 29. I think he's 29, isn't he? Or 30.
He's very young for a manager, put it that way.
I don't see it. I think he was just in the right place at the right time. There's, especially coming up to the summer window, end of the season, they've got time now to plan to get a manager in. If he'd have come in like when an Ole did or an Arteta in January, had 4 months, 5 months to maybe put a stamp on the season and say, right, I've achieved this in 5 months. Give me a season, maybe, but is it 6 games to do anything? I don't see it.
Yeah, I don't see it either, to be honest. Be an interesting one to monitor with that, but I think even if he does well, I just really don't see it happening. But yeah, guys, let us know in the comments, who do you think Spurs' next manager is going to be? And as James said earlier, especially if you've made it this far, give us a like, give us a subscribe, and as James said, give us a couple of weeks. We're going to be doing a lot more of general content. So if you have come here and you're a general footballing fan and you're thinking this is a little bit Wolves heavy, there has been reasons for that. I've had laptop troubles. James said at the start of the video that he's moved to Asia, back to Asia is where he lives. So there we go.
We're not advertising the channel very well, are we? We haven't been doing much content recently. Your laptop's been broken. We're not very good at this, are we? We're not very good at advertising us.
Well, we've turned it round. That's what I'm trying to draw on. We've turned it round. You're going to see about 4 or 5 videos in the next week. So, it's worth hitting that subscribe button in conclusion.
Yes, indeed. Take care, guys. See you later.